Hey, what's going on, Cowboys Nation, man? Just some couple thoughts I got, based off of how we ended our regular season. Um, and basically, man, some news that's going on, around the NFL. First thing I want to touch on is Brian Flores losing his job with the Dolphins. Now I know this has nothing to do with the Cowboys, but in retrospect, it actually does. When you look at our offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator drawing interest from other teams for head coaching positions, this is why it kind of relates. The Dolphins, man, ended their season, one of the hottest teams in the league. Let me check and see if they actually won their game. Week 18 matchup, because before then, man, they were like on like a 9 or 7-game win streak, man. So let's see. Yeah, they beat the Patriots. So they finished 9-8. So and out of those 9 wins, I think seven of them came on the road. Oh, so they might have ended up losing one, I guess. So yeah, they finished 9-8 though. All right, so they finished 9-8. They have, you can say they have like a potentially future quarterback in Tua. But this is the thing when it comes to some of these franchises that haven't permanently made that curve or hit the curve, and then you look at what who has more pressure, a first round quarterback or even like a lottery pick quarterback or a head coach in his first 3 years. And you can look at Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn took his team to the Super Bowl. And 3-4 years later, they ended up firing him. The head coaching job. There's not many head coaches that keep their job for 10, 15 years. Like that type of tradition just doesn't last anymore. It's like marriages, man. It's like back in my day, when my grandparents, they were married. Now it's like my kids' grandparents, like my dad and my mom. That's just the nature of the beast. It's like things just change, and now you don't see too many head coaches lasting 10 years. Not some of them don't even last 5. Some don't last 3. So when you look at how it all ties into the Cowboys, when you have a good thing with the Cowboys and you're making decent money and you're basically one of you're solidified in your position, do you want to give that up to go somewhere and you may get a big contract, but they give you like a 2-3 year leash to make that turnaround and make some promise and turn around a struggling franchise that can't draft, or they can have the top 3 pick, but they have so many holes and so many players they can up, or so many positions that need upgraded. Do they really want to sit back and just give up everything they have right now to put themselves in a situation where they can get fired 2 years later? And once you get fired, that's on your record. That's why some coaches, when they get fired from like a head coaching position, depending on their pedigree and what failed during that season, a lot of them can't get another head coaching position, and some of them have to go and go to college or offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, things of that nature. Even some are position coaches. You see them coaching quarterbacks, tight ends, offensive lines, things of that nature. So it's a lot of pressure, man. I think when the initial question was who has more pressure, the quarterback that's a lottery pick, top 3 pick, or a head coach. And I think it's the head coach, man. It's undoubtedly the head coach because it's an unfair position. Like, that's just like Urban Meyer. Now, if Urban Meyer, and I'm not saying he's a good or above average or average NFL head coach. This is not about Urban Meyer per se, but just that type of prestige that he picked up in the college game. If he would have went to a different school, or excuse me, a different NFL team besides Jacksonville, do you think he would have struggled, or you think this team would have been as bad? You know, with a struggling, or with the a lottery pick quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. Do you see? This is what I'm saying. So it's like Trevor Lawrence is still there. Urban Meyer's out of there, and it could have been other reasons why, you know. But it's a bad thing when you see like how Tua was with his head coach. Tua, he was playing better. He had they had some weapons. They were growing. You know, they were creating chemistry with Jalen Waddle. And they were able to run a ball. They had Phillip Lindsay. I think they had a couple other running backs. Like if they wanted to do like running back by committee, and they were, you know, starting to play better on defense. But there was no reason for that man to get fired, man. In my opinion, they finished the season above 500, and if they didn't have like this week 8 or this week 18, you know, addition, they still would have been 500. You know, so I don't know, man. It's the Dolphins. But at the same time, man, what do you really expect from some of these teams? Like I said, man, when you just year after year of failed draft picks, and then you expect the head coach to come in and then put his spin on things, and then make up for all the failed draft picks that this franchise constantly put themselves through, and then it's like you expect this head coach to come in and just fix all this stuff. It's terrible. Some of these teams can't draft. Man, and you see a lot of other teams out here firing their head coach. Like the Bears just fired their head coach. You know what I mean? So it's like, what, you know, they have they have the same type of situation with their quarterback, with Andy Dalton and Justin Fields. Justin Fields came in, he played, you know, okay for a rookie, but in reality, he's going to be that guy going forward with Allen Robinson. You know what I mean? So it's like, you just got to be able to draft well, man. You gotta put these players in a position where, or the coach in a position where he feels like he's not on a leash. And that's why, man, if I was a head coach, or if I was a OC or a DC, and my unit is balling, and they're, you know, I improve, like Dan Quinn. Like if I was a Dan Quinn, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Cowboys fan, man, it just makes sense for Dan Quinn to establish longevity as a great defensive coordinator once again, because he'll have a longer leash as a DC over a head coach, man. But enough about all that head coaching business, man. Them Cowboys is in the playoffs, boy. Them Cowboys is in the playoffs, man. It wasn't no drama. We you know, Cowboy fans, we used to be on the roller coaster, man. And we definitely were on a roller coaster this season, but usually the last week of the season, we need this team to lose, or we have to beat this team, and if we beat this team, we got to win the division, because none of us is getting the wild card, so we have to beat a division rival just to even just to get the playoffs by clinching the East. And this is stuff that we have to deal with this year, man. And we still getting flack from Cowboy fans, and this not being appreciative of the stressful last week of the season, man. Like, we really didn't need it. I mean, as far as like clinching the playoffs, but as far as like, you know, just getting things on the right foot and putting everything all together, we definitely did need to do this, man. And I just think, man, at the right time, everything started to, come together. If like it was pointing to the season where the offense was playing good and then it fell off, and then the defense was playing good, and then it kind of had bad games. But I think right now they're trending in the right direction on both sides of the ball, and even special teams. So I think right now, man, just with everything that you look at, man, as a fan, you have to be excited. For like, nervous for what? You know what I mean? So it's like, for me, man, you just gotta look at what really matters as a fan. What do you really care about? Are you a fan that always looks for the negative? And them is the people you gotta watch around in life too, man. It's like the people that's always looking for something negative, man. It's like, yeah, you'll be happy for your son, like, oh, my son got an A in everything, and then he got a B in this, and then he, you know what I mean? Now you mad at him and he on punishment. Them is the type of fans you gotta watch out for, man. And I think that's why a lot of people are pretty much nervous, because they look at the what if. The only way this team loses to the 49ers is if they just get outcoached. And our team is so good that even if we do get outcoached, our talent should still prevail over how good they were coached. Meaning, we have game breakers that can, put their talent on display and still just be good enough or great enough to overmatch that team and the scheme that their coaches come up with. So this ain't even about our coaches, man. This in this scenario I'm talking about is strictly how good our players are, to where they can impact the game against the 49ers and the scheme that the 49ers coaches come up with. That's how good some of our players are. And we got them on offense and on defense. So to me, man, I can't see a scenario where we just lose this game. And I know everything, anything happens, everything's possible and everything, but just barring injury, man, and just everyone showing up in their, in their right mindset and their communication and everything's on point, and the refs. If these refs, man, let us play this game, there's no way we should lose, man. And I'm extremely confident. And this boy, you gonna boil it down. It's like as far as my opinion, man, you're gonna see a lot of quick passes from the 49ers. A lot of quick passes. They don't want to live. They definitely don't want to leave Jimmy G in the pocket for 5-7 step back drops or steps. You know what I mean? Whatever. They don't want to do that. You want to see him 1, 2, maybe 3, and screen, slant, West Coast, quick. You know what I mean? And that's the recipe, and that's what teams have been doing to us all season when they respect our pass rush. Because if they know they can't really block our front, which a lot of teams can't, that's how you beat us. That's how the Bucks beat us. That's how the Rams beat us the one year. It was just a lot of quick stuff. But this team, this defense right now, this isn't the Bucks. The Cowboys that played against the Bucks week 1. This ain't that. Micah is pretty much well seasoned into his rookie campaign. We have D-Law, Gregory, all of them in at the same time with a more experienced Osa, and then we got Neville, who's back, and he's looking like, oh man, with Tristan Hill, and then you see Micah playing, and you see Curse, and you see how Diggs is playing. It's just like the defense, man. We have to come out. We have to be ready to tackle. If we're on point with our tackling, and we're negating a lot of the yak, it should be a lot of 3-and-outs. A lot of 3-and-outs, man. And I just think we just have to be on point, man. Communicate. No, we the good thing about this team is that there's not a lot of hero ball on the defensive side of the ball. And that was things that, we used to always see and we were used to. But I think now this team has learned to play together, man. This is one of the best overall team defenses we've had in a long time. So when you don't have, players jump out of position trying to make the play because they think the other person's not going to make it, or they want to make it for themselves, or whatever the reason for hero ball, man, it's A or B, man. You pick one. But whatever the reason why they decided to, make these mistakes and, slide out of their gap to go and, try to get the tackle, and then they cut back and that's wide open. You know what I mean? On their when the gap they were at. So I just think, man, stay disciplined. You don't got to worry about containing because Garoppolo's not a run threat. So I think you're going to see a lot of pressure from D-Law and Tank on the outside, and I'm not really worried about him stepping up in the pocket and beating us that way because that's not really his game. You know what I mean? His game is basically quick stuff. You know what I mean? Jimmy, there was a time where Jimmy was a threat, and that was with the Patriots. He had a couple good games after he left New England, but he's not that, man. He's not that. You put pressure on these dudes, man. You put pressure on them, and you play tight man coverage. There's no way we're losing this game, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a good one.